Vinnie,
How are you, pal?
I'm pretty good. I wish I had a Rolls Royce to tool around in.
You like that?
Morning, Vinnie. God, that was beautiful.
How are you, pal? Wait, let me
I'm
get
pretty
the.
good. I wish I had a Rolls Royce to tool around in.
You like that?
Morning, Vinnie. God, that was beautiful.
How are you, pal? Wait, let me.
I'm pretty good. I wish I had a
Hang
Rolls
on.
Royce to tool around in.
All right, now we should be okay. How's that?
Good. Where are you?
I'm in Shelton, Washington, at the Ridge Motorsport Park, which is a track, a little track, a kart track, and a whole bunch of areas set up for motorsports.
And did they have any mud on hand, I wonder?
There is plenty of mud on hand, Mikey, as much mud as any human being could want. You know, it's funny. And by the way, good morning. We are live at the 2022 Nwapa Mudfest, or at least I am here in Shelton, Washington. Mikey over there is in Pasadena, California. Together we are Mikey and Vinnie. We join you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:10 to 11:10 on your clock. And
So that's from WINS to KRLA.
there you go. We're all about classic radio, right? We're two classic radio guys, and we like to remember the marks on classic radio. And so we are here. There's lots of. By the way, Mikey, the free food is.
It's worse than airplane food.
We got the Milanos.
We got a Milano.
Those things. We got
those are Madeleines.
Chips Ahoy. Madeline, yes. Got a cafe mocha set here because it's about 11 degrees, but we're here and we're happening, man. Everything is good. How are you, Mikey?
I saw two cars yesterday that reminded me of you. One was a flat black Rolls Royce. Even the RR on the trunk and on the hood were flat black. The windows were flat black. The top was flat black. The wheels, every element of the car was flat black. And I assumed that it was a custom job, but I couldn't be certain because it seems unlikely the Rolls would do that. And then I saw the orange Rolls Royce, and I go, well, maybe they've changed their attitude toward coloring.
No, flat colors are a big thing right now. We have a Genesis here, which is $110,000 car, I think, and that's in flat purple. I drove that, matter of fact, for the week last week, and there's a few other. It hasn't made it to trucks as much yet, but as far as cars, I guess it's a matter of fact. I was watching something. What was I watching last night? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to embarrass myself. I was watching Steve Harvey. You know, the Judge show he does, Judge Steve Harvey. I don't know how. I guess I must have left Jeopardy. You know, I walked out of the room, Jeopardy. I came back and Steve Harvey was on.
Well, that can be very funny.
Yeah. And there was a guy who just bought a brand new Tesla with a flat black paint job on it. So,
well, the second car I saw, which reminded me of you, was the color of your shirt that you're peeking out of your Mets jersey. It was a Lamborghini SUV that was the brightest chartreuse green that you can ever imagine. This car you could see from 10 miles away, a beautiful, beautiful specimen, and every element of the car just shone like a diamond. Every element of the wheels, the bumpers, every bit of the fit and structure, and the finish, and the shine, and it sparkled, every bit of it. Now, it was a color that I wouldn't have chosen for myself. But whoever wanted a lime green Lamborghini paid dearly for it. And boy, did they get a lime green Lamborghini.
I love the fact that that cars, the colors on cars, for so long, we had so many cars that were, just kind of bland, white and silver and gray. And while those are still the most popular colors, I love that there's a faction of people out there, enough people out there, who make it cost effective for the factories to put some of these colors out on cars and make them so you don't have to go to the paint shop and spend 10 grand to get your car painted if you wanted a certain color. It's pretty amazing. Now, people didn't know this, but for many cars, you could always get interesting colors by going in if you were going to order a car.
Yes.
The dealers wouldn't, but if you're going to order a car and you went to the dealer, and if it was a Chevy or a Ford or a Toyota, they had what they call the fleet option book. And you open up that book, and there's a myriad of different colors in there that the factory would paint for you for an extra charge, $395, $495, whatever it was. but it was still cheaper than going out and painting them in, having a body shop painting, which was going to cost you 10 grand. And it, that's how, if you wanted a yellow car, you could go on in the fleet order book and get yourself a national chrome orange
Wow.
color, and that's the color of school buses. See, people often say school buses are yellow,
No.
and technically it's a yellow color, but in the auto manufacturer nomenclature, the nomenclature of Lucite, DuPont, and Securit, and many of the other paint suppliers in the world, it is National School Bus Orange.
And that's the color, and that's what you ordered. By the way, if I buy a Rolls Royce and flat black it from stem to stern on my own dime, does that break the warranty?
No, I don't think it would. I think if you it's a good question. I would say off the top of my head that it would not. Like it would be hard pressed for them to say, well, you painted your car, so the the left control arm broke loose. What are they going to say? The paint was too heavy? It's kind of a ludicrous thought for them.
They could say it doesn't meet Rolls-Royce standards for roadworthiness.
I think if you're dropping $450,000 on a car,
you can do what you want.
They're not gonna be too upset at the at what you do to the car, short of altering the engine. That's where I could see.
Yeah, leave the hood closed, buddy.
Right, you would get into some trouble. But this Rolls Royce that we are that you saw yesterday, and
Yes.
I should see if I can get a picture of it up. I don't know if I can. Let's see, $428,850.
Let me check my piggy bank. I'm a couple bucks short, but Ken, I would gladly pay you Tuesday for an orange Rolls Royce today.
The gas guzzler and destination and handling on the car is more than you would pay for a good average used car today. Just the destination and handling. Destination is and handling is $2,750, and the gas guzzler tax is $2,600.
Ouch.
That's just
and that goes to California, the 2,600.
No, that goes to the federal government. I think to road taxes or environmental causes. I'm trying to see if there is a let's see, one of the coolest things in this car, Mikey, it has a shooting star headliner. So the headliner in the car that covers up the sunroof has little fiber optic lights in it.
Good God.
And they have set them up so when you're sitting in the car in the dark, they shoot this every once in a while as a shooting star. So, and that is is
that standard?
No, that's a $7,975 option.
But in the long run, you're better off with it because you can always see the Pleiades.
If you're dating, if you're dating, because let's face it, you get some woman you date, a guy, whatever you date these days, whoever you are, you go up and park up on Mulholland or up in the overlook, and it's a cloudy night, and you say to your date, "Oh, honey, I can fix that. I can fix that with just one touch of my hand," to quote the Temptations. And you tell her to look up, and you look up, and you turn the roof on, and there's stars.
Beautiful. Well, there you go.
You think she's gonna just poke her hand up, Mikey, to see if that's the sky? No, she's gonna go, "Oh, honey, I didn't know.
I had no idea."
By the way, you were such a powerful person.
Orange is an unlikely color for Rolls Royce. If you were to use your imagination and say, what color would they do? Orange would not come to mind. But how many colors does that SUV come in?
Oh, I don't know, Mike. A myriad of colors. I bet you probably get Well, I'll bet you can get. And I don't have the all of the facts on it in front of me, but I'll bet you can probably. I'll bet you there's probably 10 standard colors that it comes in, and then probably 20 special order types of colors that you could get it in. So if you wanted that, you'd be able to get it.
Now you're in an event that you were looking forward to that has to do with people who review cars and drive cars and write about cars, and
Right.
all they do is cars. So
Right.
these are car people who have seen everything. But I bet you none of them walk by and just say, "Oh, Rolls Royce." Now maybe later.
No, it's like a rock. It's like Bruce Springsteen showed up in the
Yeah.
parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. Whenever you get a call like a supercar, a car that's not usually in, and we can get pretty jaded with these cars sometimes.
I know.
Because you do get some amazing cars that get into the press fleet. But I'm going to tell you when that Rolls Royce, and the fact that it's orange and the interior is orange and black, Mikey. I was thinking of the Giants, and I'm not going to mention anything else, but I was thinking of the Giants when I was sitting in the car.
He wants me to cry. That's what he wants. He wants me to cry.
No. Listen, Mikey, what do we always say?
I don't
Early.
beat the Mets. It's early. Well, the problem was, Vinny, they knew they were supposed to go to New York. They just didn't know what they were supposed to do when they got there. So they made it. They went to New York.
I will.
And that's about it. And that's about it.
I will argue with you that they knew exactly what they were supposed to do.
Mm.
Now, I didn't see the late innings of the second game. What the hell happened? I mean, I remember looking at the thing, and they were up. The Giants were up by 2 runs, weren't they?
Well, it was 3-1 when it was over. That was it. That was the end of it. I don't know. Hey, you know why you won the first game, don't you? Because of the Smokey Burgess rule.
Yeah.
That damn Smokey Burgess was feeling fleet of foot.
I still hate the rule. I don't care.
My sister Diana calls me. She says, they put a man at second base. What is that? How can you put a man at second base? I said, it's a new rule. It happened last year. She said, but they put a man at second base. How can you? That's not fair. What's fair about that? The game's over. We lost in the 10th inning because of that stupid rule.
I hate it, Mikey. I think it's not baseball. It's softball. It's absolute bull.
It's the worst kind of baseball.
And it besmirches the game. It messes with every record in the game. From any time that anybody has played an extra innings and won a game by having a bunt to get a runner on and move them over, it's a joke. It's a joke. It makes the game look stupid. You can't make Rob Manfred look any stupider, but he did. They figured out a way to do it. Now, it was supposed to be a 2-year experiment thing. I don't know what the hell happened to allow them to do it again this year.
They already know it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy for baseball.
I think the Players Association ought to be up in arms, but again, there's not a whole lot of sense of history there. Not like people are going, oh, we got to preserve this game. We got to keep this game going. It's a lot of garbage, and the commissioner of baseball should be, I don't know what you think. Well, he shouldn't be the commissioner. If he so lightly takes the cornerstones of the game. And the cornerstone of a game is you earn your way on.
No gifts.
You earn what you get in life, whether it's by having a good eye and walking, whether you lean in, you get hit by a pitch, whether you get a base hit, you earn your way on.
One of the new rules that's coming up that's already being instituted in the minors is the pitch clock. And it's turning out that the pitch clock does not benefit the hitter as we thought it would. The pitch clock is benefiting the pitcher. It's the hitter who gets the automatic balls or the automatic outs because he's not ready to hit. He's not in the box, and the umpire just goes, "That's a strike." But he didn't throw anything. You weren't ready. Get in the box.
And the only thing it's doing is it's shortening the games. But again, I contend, do people really want the games to be that much shorter? If you want to shorten the games, knock out 2 3-minute commercial breaks. You'll shorten the games.
Oh, we can't do that. We can't do that.
It's about money. They don't want to shorten the games. And fans, I don't think, care by and large. If you spend $260 to go to a game, another $150 for food and beer and whatever, and that's talking lightly once you get done with it. Do you want the game to be shorter, or do you want more of it?
We spent so much money to get here. I wish this game were over. Boy, do I wish this game was over.
The only people that want short games, Mikey, are the people that work at the game, mostly the press. I've never heard a fan say to me, "Oh, gee, I'm not going to go to a baseball game because the game is too long."
And so you ruin the game to save 20 minutes.
I mean, I like short games too. I don't mind short games at all. When I was a fan and I would go, short games are okay with me. It meant that, you got back at the right time. But this absolute travesty of taking these games and doing things we got to score runs quicker. We got to get people out of here. We got to do this. We got to do that. And you know what? If you want to make more money, sell them something in the parking lot. Put a bunch of pretzel guys in the parking lot with those stale pretzels that we used to buy and eat in the car.
On a stick. Pretzels on a stick.
Well, yeah, they were piled up like 20 on a stick. And, for $1, you got a pretzel. It was filled with salt. It set your blood pressure up. And your doctor even benefited.
But the mustard was possibly Gouldens, but no guarantees.
I never saw mustard. Well, I'm talking about the ones outside the ballpark. Yeah, the ones inside the ballpark. They gave you a little packet of Gouldens. I mean, you could hit yourself you could throw one of those things in the ballpark and hit somebody and cripple them.
The rules are so stupid because they don't achieve what they meant to achieve. It doesn't make the game more interesting to put a man at second base. It makes in fact, it takes the edge of the game away. We're going into extra inning. Who's going to win? Well, we're going to give an advantage to these guys because we want them to win. We're going to give an advantage to the home team. We're going to put a man at second base, and if he scores, this game's over. Just isn't that fantastic? Isn't that exciting? No, it's not exciting.
Well,
it ruins the extra inning.
It changes the game.
And the same thing with the pitch clock. It's supposed to make the game go quicker, but instead it takes the bat out of the batter's hand because he can't get settled fast enough. And so it's the opposite of what they tried to achieve. It doesn't make the game go better. It changes the game so the batter gets fewer opportunities to hit.
See, I could live with the pitch clock. I don't like the pitch clock, but I could live with the pitch clock. I think, I'm one of those old school guys that think that the beauty of the game, one of the big beauties of baseball, is that it doesn't have a time limit. It doesn't have a clock. It can run on forever if nobody scores. It can, there's a multitude of things that can happen. So many different nuances about time and about this and about that, that if a player wants to step out and step back in and step out and step back in, that's part of the beauty of the game. It's not rushed. It's not rushed like everything else is in life these days. You can go to a ball game and I don't know how football would be if the quarterback could step out. Maybe football games would be longer. I don't know. Or in basketball, if the guy who was shooting the ball could say, "Wait a minute, I don't like that shot. Can I go over here and shoot it?"
Can I walk over here and take a look at it? And
just let me try to see if this will work. But it's not that way. And it just I don't know. Listen, it's not going to change. I will tell you that between that and the designated hitter and the time clock and everything else, it has truly lessened my interest in the game. I mean, I still love baseball. I'm still nuts about it. I still love the athletes and everything. But Mikey, it's when they trot that runner out in the 10th inning, I'm watching something totally different.
You're watching Smokey Burgess relive his career.
Yeah, I'm watching the stuff that I used to play on the playground.
It's worse than that because in the playground you couldn't get away with that crap.
Well, on the playground. Now, listen, I've been very candid about this. I had trouble running when I was a kid for a while until I had an operation. So when I was a kid, I used to run really slow. So if I got on base, they would let me use an official runner. like
Hey,
there's
there
somebody
you
else
go.
to run a pinch runner, not an official runner, pinch runner.
Without taking
And
you out of the game.
yeah, and then I would just wait, and then I go back out in the field. It was a concession they made because I had trouble running. They still wanted me to be in the game. Luckily, I had some good friends when I was a kid. Some mean ones, but some good ones. And but now you've taken that into a whole different level. And I mean, I don't know, Mikey. We're in a world where we make accommodations to try to be perfect. And what we don't understand is the world isn't perfect. The
And
world
it's so negative and arbitrary. It's so awful and damaging.
I mean, people are shooting each other and killing each other in places, and we're getting upset about, whether we're putting a guy on second base. That's what baseball is worried about. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, Mike. It just doesn't.
Well, it's only Wednesday, so I want America to get ready for the mass shootings that are coming this weekend. There should be about 15 of them in various cities all over the place.
Lord,
And all that I ask is everyone get their gun, clean their gun. We don't want any breakdowns we want the shooting to go quicker than the last weekend's shooting. If you plan what you're doing and you have an automatic weapon, empty that automatic weapon in an efficient manner into your opponents, and then put down the gun and leave the area. It's the Smokey Burgess rule for mass shootings. Get the shooting done, get it done quickly, let the police get in and put little cards near where all the bullets fell.
You know what? I'm starting to think we're lost, Michael. I'm starting to think that the decent people in this country have lost. We've set up a system where the gun people have won.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has won.
Yeah. Those people, the mean people, I call them, the people who Mr. Rogers would look at and say, "Run away from them.
Run away from
Run
that
away
person.
from those people. Don't go near them." The seediest people in the world have won. In the 1700s, when a similar thing happened in England because of religion, what happened? A bunch of people got on ships and they went somewhere else.
We're out of here.
Said, we'll go find our own country and we'll, and maybe that is what's going to happen here at some point. Maybe people are going to get so fed up and so disgusted with this country and the way it's going that they're going to say, you know what? I'll try to get a job in Australia. I'll try to get a job in New Zealand. I'll try to get a job somewhere else where I don't have the specter of gun violence, where I don't feel like it's gonna, I'm gonna get shot when I go to the supermarket.
Or government violence. Your safety depends on Josh Howlings from Missouri, the great senator from nowhere. Your safety cannot be insured or vouchsafed by the government because they're more interested in putting you in an unsafe, uncertain, unfriendly, unhappy place. That's their job. They're not there to give you anything but grief.
They're so worried about they're so worried about things like abortion rights and things like that and right to life that they're not worried about. It's not like they're worried about the people who are here already.
Forget about them.
People who are here already, they can, who cares about them? I mean, and maybe the worst way that was manifested is through COVID. They weren't worried if 1 million people die of COVID. And, they have big signs out, "Oh, save the babies, save the babies." Well, you know what? Save the freaking people that are here too.
Save them first.
I guess I just get, I get perplexed by it, man. I really do sometimes. I just wonder, I wonder where this is all going to wind up. I wonder how this is going to wind up for our kids. I wonder how this is going to wind up for their kids, because I don't see it getting, even a smidge of it getting better.
Well, that's because in every meeting and in every school and in every restaurant and in every airplane, there's 5% of the people who are on board there who are assholes. And we have to get out of the way quietly and let them have their say with their signs and their pickets and their unreasonable requests and their fact that they support Russia and the fact that they support murder and the fact that they support guns and the fact that they support sickness and illness and the fact that they support bad schools and poor teaching and ridiculous lying curriculums. Yeah, you got 5% of everybody in the world is an asshole, and that asshole is after your health and safety, your peace of mind, and your future.
Well, what clown was it? I mean, I can't remember. It's not Cawthorn, but or maybe it was Cawthorn. It said that, and now they're passing bills or trying to pass bills that say to parents that we should abolish boards of education. The parents should decide their children's education. You know what, Mikey?
Oh yeah, that's going to go well.
Well, among these idiots, it'll go well. And
who wants to learn calculus? Anyone for calculus? It's too hard. Get rid of calculus. We don't need it. We've never used it anyway.
But that's the thing, Michael. I thought the idea of having teachers and having schools is so that we would be better than the parents, our parents, that we would, the generations before us that didn't benefit from the knowledge that we had would now benefit from the knowledge we had. But I guess that system was built on the idea that every generation was going to get better. Every group of people was going to be better off than the group that came before them. That was the idea.
And now the idea is, why do you want to learn math? It's stupid to learn math. Why do you want to learn to play the piano? That's stupid. That's weak. That's ridiculous. Why do you want to be a lawyer? Lawyers just make people mad. Forget about being a lawyer. Why do you want to get an education to go to college? College is where people give you bad ideas. That's where that's where all these bad ideas came from. Be an idiot like Marjorie Taylor Greene and like your father and like her father and like the whole family around them. People with no idea about how to achieve greater things through intelligence.
Shouldn't you be embarrassed? If I were Marjorie Taylor Greene's parents, boy, I would be embarrassed. I would be, at least who's the guy from Nevada? At least his family stands up and says, he's not one of us.
Gohmert.
Yeah, no, not Gohmert.
Gossard.
Yeah, the guy from Texas is Gohmert. The guy who spit his tooth out when he was talking in Congress. Oh yeah, it was a classic piece of television where he's sitting there talking and all of a sudden his tooth comes flying out of his mouth. It's like, here you go, Louis Gohmert on spot. So
what a world.
I don't know, Michael. I just we have so many different problems in this country and people worry about stupid stuff. And more, those people have figured out a system that says, if I run for school board and win, if I run for local office and I win, if I get a job at the Board of Elections and I win, we'll be okay.
We'll be fine because I'm going to burn the books.
Yeah, because I don't want my kids to know this. I don't want my kids to see this. I don't want my kids to have open minds. I want them to be as stupid as I am.
If not more stupid and more angry and more unpredictable and more willing to fly off the handle, more willing to say stupid things in public, more willing to challenge people who have an education, more willing to put down those who are smarter than we are, more willing to do all of that and to do it without any embarrassment. They're not the least bit embarrassed by it. They're emboldened by it.
No, they're not embarrassed at all. They're really not. Unfortunately, it's something that I don't know. You look at other countries and you see the excellence that we once possessed, and you see the education that we once possessed, and now it seems to be in the realm of those countries. It's like they looked at our system and copied it and did what they could do to duplicate it. And
left us behind. They left us behind.
And well, no, we left ourselves behind. They didn't leave us behind. They didn't come in and steal our books or shoot our teachers or do anything like that. No, they didn't do anything of the kind. They just looked at our system, which was the greatest education system in the world, and they duplicated it.
And Ron DeSantis
can do that too.
Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, just throughout 51 books that had to do with mathematics because he doesn't agree with 2 and 2 does not equal 4 if he says it equals 5.
Yeah, he doesn't agree with it. Not the school board, not the
No.
State Department of Education,
No, the governor.
not a special blue ribbon panel who has been called together to invoke censorship in our society. No, just Ron sitting around reading these books. It says here, if Dick and Jane, Dick is a bad word. We got to get rid of that book. Boom,
Get rid
out.
of that. And I'm not certain I like Jane either. I never did like her.
Yeah, she always looked a little, I don't know, to me. What a turd. And you know, again, if you took a place like Florida and you just left it the way it was, and put a fence around it, I'd be okay with it. But
The alligators would multiply, the swamp would grow, the trees would grow, and it'd be beautiful in a little while.
we need, you know what we need, Mikey? We need good people of principle and people of value, people who believe that we can be better than we are, that we don't have to just settle for a swimming pool in the backyard, and that's it. That's as high as we can go in life.
Well, what we're going to do is find ourselves with city states. There'll be city states of authoritarianism throughout the country, places where the rules are different, where life is different, where the police are different, where the fire department is different, where the governor can believe what he wants. These will be authoritarian areas of control. And it'll be fascist states that will exist separate from New York, which will remain a bastion of freedom and reliability in the East. And the psychographic West Coast, where Oregon, Washington, and California and BC will all be separate in their ideals and their laws and their education from the rest of the nation. Things will be legal here that won't be legal elsewhere. Things will be right here. Education will include topics here that won't be taught or even entertained in other parts of the country. And in 20 years, the separation between the authoritarian mind and the free mind of the West and in the East Coast will be so marked that you won't be able to send kids from every state to one college.
Well,
They won't be able to go to Notre Dame.
Certainly going to cut down on people who, you know, if you're here and you want to go to the University of Tennessee, forget about it. You know, I mean, because their teachings, their thing will be so different. I mean, let's face it. You know, the education system is now turned into all about profit type of deal. It's not
profit
no
and
longer,
politics. Yeah.
Yeah. It's no longer a thing where you go and you know, you get people that say, okay, I want to get a good education. The education system now is about soaking your parents for as much money as you can get, soaking the NCAA for as much money as they get. They've gone into the sports business, and that doesn't even help satiate their appetite.
And it's going to be a situation where if you apply for a job, they can say, what kind of education do you have? Did you have a real education? Or did you have one of the authoritarian educations? Because we're looking for someone who had a true education and doesn't look here like you went to the right kind of school. It looks like you went to the school that made your parents happy. And maybe they should be happy. Let them be happy. But you can't work here because you got the wrong education. You don't believe in certain things. Remember when the pandemic came, as soon as we could, we said, this is not about medicine. It's not about science. This is just about what you believe. And if you believe with us, you're going to be healthy and fine. 1 million of you may die, but the rest of you, most of you, half of you, a quarter of you, some of you will at least make it. And we'll be stronger on the other side. But we can't let this be about medicine, science, and the idea that a doctor can help you through it. That's nonsense. This is a pandemic, and there's no way that the doctor can help you. We say the doctors don't count. We say medicine doesn't count. We say the vaccines don't count. We say the future of medicine is in what you believe and who you voted for, not what kind of a doctor you have.
But you know, Mikey, here's the thing. We sit here every 3 days or every couple of days and we talk about this. And you know what? I sometimes, I mean, I sit here and I wonder what in the world is ever going to change it. By the way, there's somebody driving something over there.
It's a scooter.
A skip loader. Oh, no, that's the way I want to go. There you go. Matter of fact, you see behind me there, the parking lot. And if you look into the distance, and I wish this thing had a zoom lens. Next year we'll have a camera. You can see all of the Mudfest vehicles going through their paces back there. But what I was saying is I guess sometimes I get so it's not going to change that I feel like, we should talk about things like movies and music and stuff like that, because these idiots aren't going to change. It's as I've said before, we are a country that is mentally ill. And the pandemic is nothing. The pandemic just made us physically sick. The pandemic
didn't open up the housing market like we thought it would.
Yeah, no, it didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, people are saying, hey, you know what? Let's raise the price.
Let's see how far
more expensive instead of less expensive.
This idea of 1 million people dying seemed like a good idea. If we can get a couple more people to die, then that will allow us to raise the prices for the precious few that are left that need stuff like food and housing.
It wasn't that the problem is the right 1 million people didn't die. That's the thing that we didn't
fix it.
If you would have had the right 1 million people die, that would have been a whole different story. But instead it seemed like you had the wrong people dying. It seems like you had the good people.
Yeah.
The people who would help people, the people who would try to figure out the problems. Those people were the ones that seemed to die. And the lazy bastard down the street, he's just, he's like a frog. You can't, or a cockroach. You can't kill him. So,
talking about music, you mentioned a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and your idea that we talk about other topics, I think, is a valid one, more valid. And there's an announcement by Bob Dylan that he's starting a West Coast tour. Starts in Spokane, goes all the way to San Diego, plays all the cities in between, and that's something to look forward to because he always has an interesting band, he always has an interesting delivery, and so he has a way of taking an old song like "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right," and turning it on its ear making it a country tune, or whatever else he has in mind to do when he alters his own music. But that's coming up, and of all the major concerts coming up, that one interested me because as much as he's changed, he's the same old Bob Dylan. As much as he's altered himself, there he is. It's still him. And as much as he's changed,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the fact is, he's still there, still doing it, and picked a good place to do it. From Spokane to San Diego, that's a pretty good tour.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he trots out and what band he trots out and has with him. You got to start to think that, and I always think this. It's like when Springsteen comes out the next time. When the Rolling Stones come out the next time, although their tour was cut short.
Actually, they're touring in Europe now.
They back down Europe.
They extended their touring.
They had stopped. And, it's funny, they actually didn't miss a beat after Charlie passed away. Thanks very
Nothing
much.
Nothing stops them.
Yeah, it's like it's steel wheels. I mean, it really is steel wheels. But
what do you got planned today at your event?
If I was let me finish my thought. If Bruce goes out and tours, you better see him this time.
Yep.
Because, these guys are 70, 75 years old. How much longer are you going to be able to see Aerosmith? How much longer are you going to be able to see Springsteen? How much longer are you going to be able to see Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Not that they're going to lose their voices necessarily, but
they might.
It takes a lot out of you. Touring. I mean, it takes a lot out of me packing up for a day.
A big 2 hours.
A big 2 hours. Out of you for... Oh, man. All right. What do we got going on here? Let's see. Let me swing around here for a second, Mikey, and see some of the, let me talk about some of the cars that hit this. We have, I think, 21 cars, 21 journalists. We even them up so people can get some seat time in everything. There's the brand new Nissan Frontier pickup truck. There's the brand new Toyota Tundra pickup truck, which is a magnificently large truck. There's the Ford Raptor, which is
sad.
That's too much pickup truck. There's a question about whether it's a practical truck. If you like a loud truck, a speedy truck, a truck that looks intimidating, the Raptor, Ford has created, when we were kids, muscle cars were the thing. Now it's fast trucks.
Yeah, I know.
But I'll tell you what's impressed me, that there's a couple of cars that have really impressed me here. Let's see. The Honda Passport might be the car that nobody really looks at that much, but yet deserves to be looked at. It's a great car.
They got that high gloss paint again.
The Honda Passport.
And they got the high.
Volvo is another car that flies under the radar. This used to be the biggest car in the Northwest. Now, Subaru has kind of taken that mantle over, but Volvo, I drove one through the course yesterday, and it handled nicely. It was elegant. It hugged the road nicely. It really was special, because everybody isn't going to go out and buy a $450,000 car. It's the purpose of this event, is to figure out what the best cars available in the Northwest are, what fits the Northwest lifestyle. Usually Subaru comes in number one almost all the time.
What's the latest Subaru look like?
Well, they have a Subaru Forester Wilderness Edition. And I think I told you the story when I first got this car. I drove it a few weeks ago. When I got the car, I parked it in front of Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
and it was like I parked a Corvette out there in front of a Burger King or something like that. People came out and they're looking at it because it's a little different looking than the average Subaru. It's got some nice styling points on it, the Wilderness Edition, special badging, special cladding, and people were like grooving on it. It's built a little higher than the regular Forester, so you can take it off-road with a little bit more confidence. Got skid plates on the bottom. It's it's something that if you're thinking off-road, this is a car you're really thinking of. And if you remain loyal to Subaru, which is one of the marks that people remain loyal to, it gives you an opportunity to drive that, to keep in that Subaru family. What else was interesting? The Genesises, the GV70 and the GV80. The GV80 is the car that Tiger Woods was driving.
No.
When he crashed a couple of what was it now, 2 years, a year and a half, something like that.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, when he messed his car up and messed his ankles up and his legs, this was the car he was driving, and I call it the car that saved Tiger Woods' career.
It did indeed.
Because the way that car, with the speed he was going and the way the car hit and everything, that should have been a lot worse. That floor should have been ripped out of that car, and probably one of his feet with it. But through the grace of God and engineering, the crash zones in that vehicle really, did their job. And I think that if people are looking for, at a safe luxury SUV, the funny thing about that car is it's a luxury SUV. 99% of the people that buy one of those things aren't going to take it off-road. Yeah, I took it through the off-road course this morning. And I got to tell you, Michael, it was spectacular.
It eats it right up.
The different mechanisms they have in it, a different tech that balance the drive wheels, send the power to the right wheel that needs to be, that's grabbing instead of the ones that aren't grabbing, so they don't spin. It's off the charts how they figure these things out, how they get them going. My favorite, though, I don't know why this is, because I'm a little pickup truck guy. I don't know. Is still, I think the best car out here is, in many ways, is the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Their little pickup truck.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a big pickup truck and a T-shirt with holes in it to drive a pickup truck. You can drive a very refined truck with the Santa Cruz. Very nice truck, small truck, fits into a lot of parking spaces.
What about all the bells and whistles of electronics on board?
Yeah, with everything on board, all the safety stuff, all the probably as close to autonomous driving as you can get right now. And I think it clocks in high end at $43,000, which is half of what the GM AT4 that's out here, the GMC AT4 is going to cost you.
Is anybody talking about how hard it is to get these cars, new cars, to be part of the market by getting them in the showrooms at a price that people can afford because the price is so high right now?
It's hard to get cars out here. I mean, it's just a shortage of cars right now. There's a chip shortage. And although some companies are getting past it, other companies, it's going to be a while. And they're going to be doing what they've done over the past 6-8 months, which is deliver cars without certain options. Heated seats, heated steering wheels, a lot of non-safety related options are not good. Now, your car is not going to come with it. It'll be able to be programmed later to have the options in it. So you'll be able to get the heated seats. There'll still be a switch in there for it, just won't work. And other things. But it won't be until those chips are made, they're ready, and then you'll have to go to the dealer, get them installed. Or in some cars, they'll be able to update it on the air.
Yeah.
And you won't even have to take it into the dealer. It'll just be done all by way of Wi-Fi. And
it was interesting to see the president of Porsche and Volkswagen on 60 Minutes this weekend, putting it into focus how difficult it is to maintain a market share with known brands like Audi, Porsche, and Volkswagen. They have to find new ways to do it. And he said that in the future, probably Porsche will go to a truck and beyond the SUV, because of the way that America responds to trucks. A Porsche truck would be something to see.
Yeah, well, they could easily build one off of their crossover chassis, their Cayman chassis. I think they could pretty easily make that happen, especially because Volkswagen is coming out with reportedly with a pickup here soon, and Porsche and Volkswagen use many of the same platform parts. So it wouldn't be out of the question. I don't know. Are you going to buy? Are you going to stick 5 pieces of wallboard in your Porsche?
No.
See, I think that everybody's trying to grab. See, it used to be that certain cars had a certain market. And that was it. If you wanted a sports car, you bought a Porsche, you bought this, you bought that. This idea that now we have to have 4-door Corvettes and 4-door Mustangs and all these different things, although the Mustang case is a bit different. But I don't know. I think you'll wind up with cars that aren't necessary.
Everybody drives an SUV. You can't tell the difference.
Yeah, not only that, but does Porsche have to put out an SUV, or, should it be a sports car? And that's what it's supposed to be. I don't know. I mean, they sell them. So I guess they're giving America what it wants. I guess the marketing people are getting the clear say, and it's not for necessity. It's what they think will sell, which is probably has always been. But sure. It leads to things like, the Lincoln pickup truck of a few years ago that you couldn't put anything in the bed of because it had a cover that only opened up. But, there was people out there that wanted, what was it, the Mark III or something like that. But people wanted a Lincoln pickup truck.
And you couldn't put a 2x4 in it?
You could. That's about what you could put in it. That's about, it had a lid cover, a hard lid cover that only opened up like, I don't know, 15 degrees or something. So and it was carpeted inside the bed. It was meant, you know what it was? It was a $50,000 golf club hauler.
Yeah.
That's about what you could put in there. 50 grand worth of $50,000 at the time. Now it'd probably be about 70 golf club hauler.
And you need a driver to reach in and get your shoes, which are all the way inside in the corner. Does
America need that? I mean, that's what I wonder. And I guess they think so. Another car that impressed me here a lot. I was really surprised with how quick it was and how agile it was. Is the Jeep Cherokee 4XE. So that's their electric Jeep. And I think these things are going to be huge. I don't know how good they're going to be, but they're going to be huge because people rely on the name Jeep.
Yep.
And if people see that they can get an electric car with the Jeep name tag on it, and it's good and it's reliable, I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be off the charts, huge for Jeep, because again, there's such an association with Jeep and America.
And remember, when Chrysler bought Jeep, a lot of people said that it was a bad idea, that the two parts of that company were not going to be able to work together, that America didn't need more off-road vehicles. And it turns out that it was the savior of Chrysler, that and the trucks.
Yeah, really. I mean, a Jeep, no matter how, and listen, they've had their problems with longevity and different mechanical components, but people still want those cars. They still trust in that car more than almost any other car out there. Now, Ford has made some inroads with their Bronco, but in reality, there's a lot of doubt in people's minds about the Bronco.
How come?
The reliability of it has not been top of mind. There's been a lot of delays. Tops don't fit. There's a lot of different things that have gone wrong with that car since it came out less than a year ago. But it's a great car. If you get the Bronco all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, I should say, not the Sport, which is more like an SUV, but the regular Bronco, which is more like an old 60s or 70s Bronco, it's quite a car. I mean, I drove one up into the mountains and it handled all the off-road stuff. It was fun. You could take the top off it and have a nice afternoon in the sun. Remember the sun? It's that thing that's behind the clouds up there.
It's going to be the sun just came out. It's going to be 75 here today. So I do remember the sun. One thing about the Broncos, I don't see them in LA. Here in LA, where every other car is a Tesla or an SUV, top of the line, something from somewhere that shows that the average LA driver is looking for size, a commitment to technological excellence, electric if possible, a style that stands out on the freeway. And you see these everywhere, but you do not see Broncos. It's easy to see a Bronco because they have that distinctive Bronco right across the front of it. If you got one behind you, you can see it. You know what the hell it is. Yeah, you know it's
there. There, and I mean that's what people see. I think America is becoming a bit survivalist in what it wants. I think America, and this is really something if you look at with cars, there's a lot of cars out there that are starting to show off a little doomsday. This will take you anywhere. It'll take you away from this. It'll take you to Idaho. It'll take you up any highest mountain, but it'll do it in luxury. Drive your couch up to the top of a mountain.
Join the white people of Idaho in luxury and do it now.
Yeah.
With or without a road.
Yeah. It's something that's growing and growing. People now are I think, they want that. And that's why I think you're seeing RVs sell so hot right now, is people want that ability to get away. They want that ability to go places that you'd never think you could go in a car. They want that ability to maintain some of the luxury, not all of it. They realize there's a price to pay, but Genesis addresses that. Genesis says, you know what? You can have luxury. And you can have the off-road ability too. Mazda, to a certain degree, does that as well. They got a Mazda 5 out here, or 9, I should say. And it's, again, a great little SUV, a great little crossover, great little station wagon.
How many Rolls Royce SUVs do you think they'll sell if they don't sink on the ship coming over?
How many, which ones?
Rolls Royce SUVs.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how many they sell. I think they only limit them to 5,000 a year. I think they only make 5,000 a year. I can't see that they would produce much more than that.
And you'll see them in Manhattan used as security vehicles. You'll see them in Beverly Hills used as statement vehicles. You'll see them in London delivering royal people hither and thither at parties. But they have to be a certain color in London. They got to be black. I mean, if you're part of the aristocracy, you can't drive around in an orange Rolls Royce. It's got to be black.
Well, although is that something that's now changing? Is that something that now people are throwing that whole deal away where they're saying, hey, you know what? I can marry. I mean, I can I can ride around in what I want. It's like John Lennon's flowered Rolls Royce.
That was a beautiful car. I liked the job they did on it.
Yeah, that was a great job. That was all painted. It wasn't stickers.
And
but
by
it's
the way,
power Rolls Royce.
To resell that car years later, to keep it going because it's still on the market, it's still somewhere. They painted over all that. It's probably silver or light blue now.
Yeah, what a shame, huh?
Yeah.
You know who's they're putting back together. If I say the word further, does that bring any memories to your mind at all?
They found the bus. I thought it had rotted away. Ken Kesey's bus.
No. It's just down here in Oregon, man. Zane Kesey, who is Ken's son, is leading a campaign to rebuild the bus.
Is that an International Harvester bus?
I don't know. It escapes me for the moment what kind of bus it is, but it's an old school bus that they outfitted to travel in.
And it's been a few places, hasn't it?
It's, I got a picture of that bus, Mikey, driving on the corner of my house when I was a kid.
Coming into Queens to say hello there.
It's in Queens, man. It's right in front of. I lived on 83rd Northern, and the picture of the bus is taken on 83rd Northern in front of the Boulevard Theater.
Wow.
And so I know that they were near the house. If I'd known they were coming, I would have said, stop by and meet my parents.
I can help you guys roll joints, or what do you need?
Yeah, I can help you out in any way you want. Come on, let me introduce you to my friend Louis Abalafia.
I'll show you where the burger place is. Come on, we'll go to White Castle.
We'll get an egg cream. Come on. But that's I'll have more details on it. I'm going to try to see if I can do it. If not this weekend, next weekend, we'll get Zane Kesey on to talk about that. I've been meaning to get him on for a few weeks and just haven't. But we'll get him on and talk about where you can throw up a little money if you want to see further back on the road. If you want to see the magic bus, the electric Kool-Aid test, the whole 60s.
Yes, if you've been someplace, but you'd like to go further, this is a way to do that.
Exactly, and so appropriately named is this bus. But they're just right down the road here in Oregon. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to try to schedule a trip down to see it here at some point soon.
I think this is the answer to America's problems. You can't backtrack. You can't deal with the status quo. You can't return to the good times of the Eisenhower years in the 50s. You can only go further. And that's the challenge that frightens America. How come we're so set in our ways that we can't imagine going further? We want to put on the brakes and go nowhere.
Could you imagine if they talked about going to the moon now? If it was not where it is now, where we know, but if it was in its infancy like it was back in the 50s.
We would say God doesn't want us to go to the moon.
God created Earth so we didn't have to go to the moon. Keep your trap shut, stay right where you are, and don't show our kids any books.
No, in fact, you can warm yourself by the books that we're burning right now.
Right, don't show any kids any books that intimate that we could go to the moon.
In fact, we're burning all Ken Kesey's books this afternoon. If you want to come by.
Yeah, we'll have a Ken Kesey burning at 2:00. Please
tomorrow we're burning Tom Robbins' books.
Yeah. It's amazing. All right, man. Well, that is going to put it in the books, I guess, for us, Mikey.
We'll join each other for Freaky Friday, right?
Yeah, we have Freaky Friday. I'll give you the update on what's the coolest thing I drove. I mean, I don't think anything's going to beat the Rolls Royce. Mikey, the Rolls Royce has Here's how great poupon this car is. The Rolls Royce has a button on the dashboard that closes the door.
No,
Yeah.
I like that.
You put your hand on it, you push the button on the dashboard, and the door closes. You don't even have to reach out and close the door. Nary where you have to stretch a muscle closing the door of the Rolls Royce Cullinan.
And when the rolls rolls, does it feel like you're in another magic place?
Yeah, it's totally different than anything else you drive. I mean, I've driven them before, so I have an idea of what it is, but it's just such a wild feeling.
And those are heavy vehicles. Those are heavy as a tank.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's 5,200 pounds or something like that.
Woo. 2.5 tons.
It's a lot of rolls there.
Vinny,
Well,
have fun. I know you're having a ball there, and I'm glad you're well enough to enjoy it. That's really great news.
Yeah, I'm really I'm happy I'm here. I wish I was a little better because it's by the end of business yesterday, I was hurting, man. But I'm glad to be out here and get my strength back. And on Friday we'll recap it all for you.
Well, pace yourself and get everything on video.
I'm a pace guy, man. I love
Right.
pacing. I was a pacer rather than a trotter.
Okay, now you can dip into your cookies, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
All right, Mikey. I will talk to you on Friday if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Thank you all for listening to the show this morning. We always appreciate it. Thank you to the folks at Mudfest and the Northwest Automotive Press Association and all the manufacturers that came out here today to support us, and all the journalists that come out to support what is a great event. Nwapa, Mikey, provides scholarships for, I think it's 4 colleges in the area for people that might want to be automotive journalists. They
Wow.
provide a scholarship every year, 4 scholarships for all of these for people to learn the craft of automotive journalism. So,
There's something I meant.
Is it an event that
Something I meant to tell you about going to school and learning about cars. Here in Pasadena is the Art Center of Southern California.
right?
And they have a complete division for auto design and making the future of the American car or the international car.
Yeah, I think there's some guys from Hyundai that went there, and there's a few different what do you call it? A few different car companies, and I think that's why a lot of those design studios and stuff are based in Southern California because of that school.
Yeah,
I think
it's something.
It's a big deal.
It's the future of education in America because it's a private school, and they don't need Marjorie Taylor Greene to tell them that cars are something of the past, and no one should learn how to design them.
Yeah, they don't need to burn books.
No.
Have
Have a good day, Vin.
What a crazy world. All right, we'll catch up with you on Friday. Mikey, until then, peace, love, Manischewitz, baby.
Don't drink and drive. What a wine.
All right.